Hey guys, well, they did win.
They did.
Is it on the scoreboard back here?
Still, yes, 21-14.
21-14. The Steelers beat the Patriots 21-14. I don't know why they've left it up there under that big lighthouse, but they have.
They still have the takeaways on there or the turnovers on there?
Nah, they've left the turnovers off, but then there's probably a good reason for that. This is a tough place to be trying to analyze this football team before it heads over to Ireland. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. He's Chris Halicke. We're here in Foxborough, Massachusetts, kind of collectively scratching our heads as what to do with this one. I'll tell you right now that the way it was handled in the locker room, well, let's just summarize it with this very brief exchange between me and DK Metcalf. What's missing from the offense right now? What's necessary for that rhythm to show up?
I mean, I don't know. I can give you an answer to that after we watch film, but I'm about to enjoy this win right now.
They come to win. They come to win, and they got the win, and they want to enjoy the win, and I get that, and then they have time. They're going to have multiple days of practice before flying over to Ireland, and they feel like they've got time to rectify things. They also feel, Chris, at least from what I gathered downstairs, and we haven't had a chance to trade notes or anything, but I got the sense from these guys that they did check off some boxes, especially on defense. They checked off some boxes. They didn't get anywhere near where they want to be, but they were able to generate the splash that was needed. 5 turnovers. Say what you want about the Patriots, and I'm sure they're saying plenty behind us here in Boston, but we don't care about them. What about the Steelers? What about their perspective on this?
Listen, I mean, this is a defense that they rely on splash. It's been described to me by a couple of players that it does seem like it's an all or nothing defense sometimes. And that does mean that you almost live and die by the splash. And when you have a game like this in which you can generate turnovers and you can generate takeaways, and it almost doesn't matter where it happens on the field. If it
Forced
happens,
fumbles.
Yeah, especially four forced fumbles today, and recovered all of them. I mean, that's. And
yeah, if you're going to have your FFs, you might as well have your FRs next to them. That's and they did a really good job of that. They batted 1,000 on that, but they also had, and I'm not being cute when I say this, they had a hand in all of them. This wasn't like, remember the Najee fumble from a couple of years ago? There's just nobody around him, and he just drops the ball. That wasn't the case here.
Yeah,
the Steelers were in on all of these.
Absolutely, and Cam Hayward was in on multiple
everything.
I mean, he was in on everything. He stripped Ramondre Stevenson near the goal line. He also got a hand on the pass from Drake May that Brandon Echols intercepted by the goal line. Both resulting in touchbacks instead of touchdowns. That's huge. That's 14 points taken off the board.
It's massive, and at the same time, within that, you also had another box checked, and if you saw our preview show earlier this morning, you'll know that one of the things that we wanted to see was Cam being Cam and TJ being TJ. Yeah. Cam was, I don't want to insult him by saying he was just Cam. Yeah. That was an extraordinary effort on his part. Mm-hmm. TJ comes through with a couple sacks. TJ also was part of a better, though not still where he'd want it to be, run defense. Yeah. I mentioned to him just now downstairs, I told him, I said, because where the press box is here, we have a nice view of seeing running plays. You can see the holes as they develop or as they close up. And I said, you're going to like on film what you see of the way the front guys, not just the interior defensive linemen, but also the edge rushers, got off their blocks. They moved to where the football was going. I thought that had a good look. So those two guys, they had to be that.
I agree with that. And I do think that when you look at the final box score and you see the number of rushing yards that the Patriots had in the game, a lot of that, or I won't say a lot of it, but a good amount of that came from Drake May just being able to extend plays and get those yards with his legs.
Which we all knew he could do.
Yes, we all knew that he could do that, and I had a feeling that there were going to be at least a couple of plays, and that's exactly what happened, in which he just got back breaking yards with his legs, and that's what he did.
And he did. Just to read these out here, the Patriots finished with 119 yards rushing, which sounds like, they did it again.
But how much by May?
May had 45 of those.
by himself.
The running backs averaged 2.5, 4.0, 4.5.
So less than
28, 28, and 18 yards.
You'll take that all day long
against any opponent.
The run defense was better.
Run defense was better. They got their takeaways. They got what it was that they feel is their identity. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about what happened on the other side of the ball. It just wasn't anywhere near as good.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores. Track the latest stats. Chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. The new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Coverage that connects.
Football season's upon us, everybody. It's time to check out the latest odds, futures, and win totals on the FanDuel Sportsbook. If you, like Chris, had Darnell Washington for an anytime touchdown last week, you would have been a big winner today. Lock in your bets today. Whatever your game, FanDuel Sportsbook delivers the latest lines, futures, and specials so that you can join in on all of the action. That was last week, huh?
We still need the FanDuel Sportsbook to give us an anytime Darnell drawn defensive pass interference in the end zone, because it just seems like it's when they run that fade to Darnell Washington, it's either going to be a touchdown or it's going to be a DPI in 1st and goal.
Well, that's actually where I'd like to take this conversation.
Ooh, okay.
Because I had some talks downstairs, and I'm going to be getting into this a lot more in the written column that I do for the DK Pittsburgh Sports app, but I had a lot of talks downstairs with the offensive guys. And one of the things that became clear to me, and heaven knows Chris only heard it from me 100 times during the game, was that they need to go a lot more vertical with what they do. I'm not sure what got into Arthur Smith in this game to be doing all sideways, even to his receivers, even to Metcalf, even to Jonnu Smith, just repeatedly. Everything was just sideways, 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 sideways. When the Steelers did attack downfield, they got either a completion or a DPI, or the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe except for one pretty terrible interception by Aaron Rodgers, but
no idea what that was still.
But either way, the good outweighed the
he
bad.
thought Bob Spillane was still playing for the Steelers. But Aren't you a Steeler at some point?
Where's number 14 now?
Right.
That just bugs me. Bugs me with a linebacker wearing 14. Well, that's just me. But still, the good outweighed the bad. They do need to go more vertical. But the thing that bothers me about the offense more than anything, they had 102 yards of offense in the first quarter. They now, 3 games, which means 3 opening drives, 17 points off of opening drives this season. They scored another touchdown today on an opening drive. Got another touchdown in the first quarter. At one point, second and third quarter, they were like -9 yards rushing while they had like 53 in the first quarter. Like, what happened there? Like, did the Patriots just get that much better at defending the run? Did the offensive line get that much worse at blocking for the run? Like, I don't know what happened. And then because of that, it was like everything else fell apart. The wheels fell off.
The funny part of that is, and maybe the most difficult part to explain, is that to me, from front to finish, Jaylen Warren looked no different. Would you agree on that?
Oh, I agree. Yes, 100%. Okay. He was a catalyst for the offense.
Outstanding. Yeah. He was outstanding. And he was that throughout. Mm-hmm. But there were times when nothing happened, and then they would just go back to the sideways thing, and nothing would materialize of it. And listen, I can empathize to an extent. We're now 3 weeks in with the Steelers and or Arthur and or Aaron fearing throwing downfield because they don't think they have the time to do it. And maybe they're right. The line is still not exactly a strength. No. But if you do it, if you connect or you get those DPIs every once in a while, what ends up happening to the defensive fronts that you're facing? They soften up. Then you get less pressure. It all works together, but you can't be running and hiding from it.
Yeah, you can't, and that I think is the problem. Whatever it is, the problem is once the other team adjusts, because they're starting games great, but once teams adjust, they don't. It's like they don't know what to do. It's like they don't know how to stay ahead in the cat and mouse game. It's like they start off ahead. Okay, that's a great place to start because for years this offense has sucked, and it's feel like they've had to come back into games way more often. Now they're actually starting off by taking leads, or at least when the other team gets a touchdown or whatever right away, they're still in it because they get points right away. But now it's lack of adjustments. It's the opposite. And when the defense is playing the way they played today, which again, another fast start, but they get 5 takeaways, the offense has to make the other team pay for it.
At least once in a while.
At least once. And I think at one point with the first 4 turnovers.
0 points.
No, I think it was 7.
Was okay because of the first one.
Right. But you get 7 points off of 4 turnovers. That's unacceptable. You cannot. You let the Patriots hang around in a game. They should have been blown out before the third quarter or before the fourth quarter even started.
Yeah, the offense let the Patriots hang around. I mean. That's what ended up happening here. I don't know what to tell you guys. I mean, I think both of us would prefer to come on here and just go through. Here's the 5 best players of the game and all this. And I don't think we really have that from this one. You know, Cam was outstanding. You know.
Well, I'll give you another thing that gives me some optimism here. That 4th down play at the end where Brandon Echols gets the tackle. It's not just the fact that Brandon Echols got the tackle. They brought pressure. They brought pressure on that play. There was pressure coming off the left side. The offense's left side, which is obviously where May threw the ball to, but still, they brought something. They weren't just going to sit back. When I think about like some of the great defensive minds in that, like a Steve Spagnuolo for the Chiefs, in that situation, he's bringing something. He's bringing some sort of exotic blitz, and he's going to do something to make Drake May uncomfortable. I'm glad that they brought something there. That wasn't just going to be, okay, we're going to drop 7 into coverage. We're going to try to beat with. No, they actually brought something. That's encouraging to see. Now, there's still some other things that need to be fixed throughout the first 58 minutes of the game, but in crunch time, I'm glad to see a play call like that.
Yeah, and let's give a shout here to Echols too, since you mentioned him. That's not a tackle that everybody's been making on that play. And if who knows what, I don't even want to think of. I'm sure you don't either. But if that guy gets away from Echols, you know, things are going to look and sound and everything. Heck, we might still be watching the football game. I spent some time with Echols afterward, beginning with a question about that play. Brandon Echols, take me through that last tackle, that last play.
What did that do to your mindset?
No, I just played with, vision on the QB, seeing what they were doing. We had, a little pressure coming off, and I knew they were going to be trying to fill in the spot where we had just left off it. So, I just kept my eyes open. As soon as I seen them, get ready to throw the ball, I just broke.
From there, it's just a matter of execution, right?
Yeah.
A nice bounce back for you guys.
Yeah, of course, man. We've been having a lot of up and downs, these past 2 games with the run game. So it was good for us to go out there and get this dub, just to bounce back and give us some positivity back.
And as long as we're shouting people out here, let's do one for Cal. I don't know that these have been the 2 best overall games of his NFL career. Mm-hmm. I think there's way too often, and we could see this from the press box when Aaron Rodgers looks up and there's just nothing there. And that's going to fall on your wide receiver group as a whole. At the same time, when the Steelers needed the play, like you just said about the defense, when they needed something, Cal got down there. Cal beat his guy, and he caught the ball. I mean, and he'll do that if you get it to him with even a margin of something. He's not a dropsy guy.
No,
he'll catch the ball, and I don't know that you can get a whole lot more clutch than doing what he did right in that moment.
Yeah, and that was obviously a really big moment for the team because the offense had just been struggling, and then they get a break. They go down there and they're in position to it looks like they're going to have to settle for a field goal because they got into a third and long position. It seemed like they were about to stall out, and then they make that play. And I asked Calvin about that play, but not just that play in particular, but the details of that. Like how much have you been working on like a back shoulder type throw? Because Aaron Rodgers has been doing that play for years, and so it's one thing to watch him do it with Devontae Adams week in and week out, year after year, but to do it with Calvin Austin in week 3, new receiver for him, I thought that was pretty interesting.
How much have you and Aaron worked on like that back shoulder type throw so that you can get that timing down and everything? Because that's obviously something he's done really well for a long time. How much work have you guys been able to do on that together?
We did a good amount, but to be honest, when you're as gifted as he is, as long as we do our part as receivers and get open, he'll put the ball where it needs to be, and that's just the advantage that we got. And with having 8 back there, we know that as a receiver, all we got to do is get open, and he's gonna put the ball right there.
So did this come across as kind of meh? Because that's kind of the feel, you know. I don't think you leave this and think, oh yeah, here they come, and look out Vikings and everything else here. You're going to show me the standings.
I'm going to show you the final score of the Vikings over the Bengals.
Yeah, but the Bengals have no defense, and they don't have Joe Burrow anymore. And
48-10.
yeah,
it's still an NFL team.
It's scarcely one. The Bengals don't even try on defense.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know about that. Look, if the Vikings get overconfident from doing what they did to the Bengals, that's awesome. But for right now, all I'm thinking is a whole lot needs to get a whole lot better.
Fast.
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 Yeah, because you don't want to come back 2-2 either. You don't want to have this. You don't want to take this into the bye.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that came up in some conversations downstairs just now, Chris, was they went out and they got the splash. The defensive guys did. Mm-hmm. But we're still not seeing all of the basics. Mm-hmm. Offensively, they got the big play, a couple of them when they needed them, things that maybe lift your hopes up a little bit. But then it's still first down, and you get 1 yard or 2 yard. You're still seeing backwards, like they did with the running game or the second down and 20 handoffs. There's a long way to go. Yeah. There's a long way to go. I don't know that they're going to get there. I'm not into predictions. But right now, where they're standing right now, there's a long way to go. And I'm not just talking about the trip they're about to make.
No, they do have a long way to go. The good thing is that we're starting to see some building blocks, and they are more encouraging building blocks than maybe we've seen in years past. Like I said, the good starts on offense. That's a great place to start. That means game planning and everything like that is working. You're going into the game with a good idea of what you're going to see. You anticipate it and you execute it. That's a great place to start. Now it's about when the other team makes an adjustment, they start doing things different. It's about staying ahead on that. On the defensive side, it's still about tightening up a lot of things. Yes, you got the splash today. That's great. But way too many third down conversions allowed. Way too many fourth down conversions allowed. There's still some things that need to be cleaned up there. But they got better against the run. They created splash. But, yeah, they still have a long way to go.
And a tip of the cap here before we sign off to Derek Harmon for his first NFL sack. And by the way, pursuing Drake May around the backfield the way he did, he was telling me he thought he should have had him, which tells you something about how he feels about quarterbacks. I didn't think he'd had a prayer to catch him back there. But he showed up. He played. He was held to a snap limit. If you're wondering why he didn't play more, that was a health thing.
Yeah.
And, he now has this out of the way. He has this under his belt. And it may be between him and what Cam did, you started to see the defensive line stabilize a little bit, and that's been a sore spot here all along. So anyway, guys, we're going to talk to you after we get back to Pittsburgh, which is like tonight. Late. Yeah, but we'll talk to you tomorrow with a Double Shot Show. Make sure you're downloading our app. That's where we're doing our work. That's where we're about to do everything. Including on the plane, and
it'll be fun.
We're doing a lot of stuff here. There's little JetBlue trays. The DK Pittsburgh Sports app is available for free on Apple and on Android. Bring it into your device, the free version. Email me to get the good one. That's That's at my email address, dk@dkpittsburghsports.com. I will respond to you personally with a discount that you will not say no to. And we will see you guys back home.